The Vanishing on 7th Street is yet another Where Is Everybody film that Kaylee and I watched this week. Um, and I haven't seen this movie since it came out, and I was really excited for it because of the premise, because I like that premise. And it had Hayden Christensen in it, and I want to say around that time was in the era of the prequels, which I was really curious on how his performances were going to be without George Lucas, because it kind of like, a lot of the acting gets blamed on George Lucas for those movies, and it's like, all right, I want to see Hayden Christensen in something else, and we got that, and we got Jumper, and we got a few other things with him in it, and I think he's okay. Like, I don't think he's terrible. I don't think he's great. I've never seen a great performance from him, but of course I'd like to see one in the upcoming Obi-Wan Kenobi series that we're getting soon. So let's hope for it there. But as far as this movie goes, this was something I really didn't care for when it had come out. I was really disappointed in this film. It had not only Hayden Christensen in it, but it had John Leguizamo, who I really liked at the time as well, and it had Thandie Newton in it. So I was like, all right, this could be a cool film. And I went in and I just remember walking out of it being like, wow, that was a big letdown. I just did not care for that film. And it's been many, many years since then. And when we went to go do this subgenre week, I was like, all right, I want to recheck this out, which it's on Prime, I think, if I remember correctly. So, we threw it on, and then my expectations actually went up because the movie is directed by Brad Anderson. And Brad Anderson is the guy who directed Session 9. He directed a whole bunch of things. But Session 9 was, something that we recently just rewatched for probably like the fifth time for me now, which I love it every time more, every time I watch it. But I didn't like Session 9 the very first time. And the second time I loved it. So I was like, oh shit, maybe this will be another Brad Anderson effect where I really was like whatever on the film. And then the second time it was going to be a big change drastically on how I felt about the film. And that did not happen here. It stayed very blah. And that is because these characters in this film are just dreadful. Like, I don't like anybody in this film. I don't connect with them, and I don't feel like they're fully explored at all. And that's not the film's only problems. I think where the film is successful in its depiction of the shadow monsters, that's really cool and can be very effective. And I think that Brad Anderson does that part pretty well. But as far as the characterizations and the characters that are in this film, not a fan. There's some setup with Hayden Christensen's character where he is this like news anchor who has like a co-anchor, but she's doing weather at some point, so I don't know what the fuck. But they work together on the news. And they're either having an affair, which she looks like she's still married. I don't know what the fuck has happened to this guy's wife. We see a picture of her, but we don't really get any mention of her. So I don't know if they're having an affair. I don't know if his wife died. I don't know anything. Really, they set up this affair, possibly, and then that really doesn't come up again. And then when we see him, he's like not helping anyone out. He's this gruff person, which I like foreign cinema, and foreign cinema is kind of known for having like very untraditional protagonists that aren't that likable, that are kind of more realistic characters that aren't goody two shoes. Like American cinema can, portray a lot of our lead characters. They always are squeaky clean. So I'm fine with him kind of being a dick. That's fine. But I just feel like it doesn't really go anywhere with him. And he's not by far, in a way, the only problem. I feel like every character has this issue. We have John Leguizamo's character in the beginning. He's this projectionist that seems to know way too much about like physics and, like science stuff that I'm just like, okay, I mean, anybody can be brilliant, but like we don't really get to know why he knows anything about those things. So he's like hypothesizing that it could be a super collider accident, it could be all these things, and it's like, you're a projectionist in a movie theater. And then his character doesn't really do anything else from there except for be like injured all the time and is like screaming out for help or trying to say that he's real or something, and that doesn't really go anywhere. And then there's a kid in the film that is shown up for like 2 seconds and then plays like a major role in the end, but doesn't really earn that because they're not really in the film. And then there's another kid who I don't really connect with at all because I don't really know anything about him either. And then Thandie Newton just kind of plays like a hysterical woman the whole time. So the characters are what kills this film 100%. So this is a huge disappointment for the Where Is Everybody subgenre. I don't really have much to say good about the film outside of the shadow monsters portrayal. That's it. Other than that, I don't like the way the film looks. I don't like the performances in this. I don't like how anyone's written. It's a very, very below average film. And that's a shame coming from, the Session 9 director. As I said, he did The Machinist. He's done a ton of films. But Session 9 is my favorite of his filmography. And since they are in the same genre, and because they're both dealing with, enclosed spaces, playing with people's minds, tricks on them thinking they're seeing things in the dark, stuff like that, it's a comparable type of setup for a film. So you would think that these characters would be much better, because I feel like the ones in Session 9 are stronger. Now, I don't think the Session 9 characters are all great. Like, I think they do well for what they are, but I don't think that they're all, like, fully fleshed out or anything. But that's not really the story, right? It's more of Gordon's story. And they do a great job with him. So if we only did a great job with Hayden Christensen's character, and then everyone else just kind of played their roles and was fine and serviceable to the plot and to his character growth or journey, that'd be fine. But his character is so unlikable, is so lame, I don't know anything about it, and his performance is very rocky. So this film just fails on almost every level. So not a recommendation. Also, I'd like to point out that Kaylee and I have been taking some film classes, and so we're trying to screw around with lighting and different focal lengths and all these different things. So please comment on how you think this looks compared to my typical video. See, better, worse, just any kind of input you want to give on that, because we're going to be kind of slightly adjusting them here and there, getting the best quality of footage that we can. And we're going to be looking at this footage ourselves here in a second. But anyways, yeah, this one is not a recommendation at all. And I really just wanted to do this video to test out our camera. So this isn't really a review that I was all that amped to do. Mostly because I don't like shit talking a film unless I can do it in full spoiler discussion. I didn't take notes on this one. I can just kind of be vague with a spoiler-free discussion on this and say that it is not good. Which is a damn shame, because I like most Where Are Everybody films, Where Is Everybody films, and this one is just definitely not one of those. So that's a shame. But anyways, let me know about the film quality, and adios.